The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Clan Archie for the dope production. Ring Gang stay with the best discussions. Ring Gang Radio.
So now the other movie that we like to talk about is Revenger on Netflix. Revenger, in terms of how I heard of it, it was just mostly because LB was telling me about it, and then also too I heard it from my brother because he saw the trailer for it, and I was thinking it was Revenger on Netflix. I was like, oh shit, we're about to see another night. The Night Becomes Us, which that came out of left field for me, and I raved about that one, because that movie was super violent, as I mentioned in my first review of it. And then I remember, I saw a trailer for this, and I saw a trailer because some cat in there got tombstone through a fucking wooden crate and shit like that. So that, so I was like, damn, that shit is raw. So, I fucks with it. So it was like, okay. That was the move, man. It's like, when you see a human get dropped on his head in a fashion like that, then it's like, okay, then you have to see that movie, because that tells me that you might see some shit. So I waited, and then I think LB was the one who told me to. Because he was telling me, he was like, yo, Revenger's on Netflix now. I was like, yo, go watch that so we can talk about it. and of course, at the time, I was watching Punisher season 1. Marvel Netflix TV shows. If they're raw, I gotta binge and finish that one first. So it took me some time to finish that. But I did get a chance to see Revenger. My thoughts on it. It's interesting. The story of Revenger didn't capture me. I will say that it did not capture me. I thought the story was a little bit. Let's put it this way. I consider myself an intelligent guy, but I had a hard time following this goddamn story. On some real talk. That's real talk right there. The story was just a little bit it was weird to me.
What you ain't understand?
I mean, shit, nigga. I mean, the first scene is you seeing a mother and a daughter with a bow and arrow, and they getting chased by a whole bunch of random niggas, man. And then the nigga comes up. I can't spoil the rest of it. But let's just say the whole that opening scene was just a whole bunch of, okay, what is this? And then as it followed on, the movie just it really didn't make any sense to me. But the violence itself, while not cartoony violence like Night Becomes Us, it's perfectly acceptable violence. The choreography wasn't as smooth, but you can tell when you watching them shit. That's how niggas that have nothing to lose. That's how they fight. I was, I like the star of the movie. What's his name? Khan.
Bruce Khan.
Yeah, I was fucking with his scenes. I mean, for a guy who was not just an average size, but I was fucking with his scenes. Like, dude was whooping some ass in that movie.
For real, dog. Like the hand-to-hand combat, and he was low-key doing some boxing, like some ill strikes in that fucking movie. Like, kind of reminded me of Donnie Yen. Like a lot of his, when Donnie Yen does a lot of the stand-up parts.
Yeah, and this movie reminded me a lot of the Donnie Yen movies, because a lot of those Donnie Yen movies have, they have long plots. Sometimes they're a little convoluted, but when it comes to the fight action, you see why people watch Donnie Yen movies, and that's how I felt about Revenger on this. Revenger had the characters that none of the characters really drew me in. I was tired of seeing the lady and the kid, and then the whatchamacallit, the old man over there that seemed a little addled in his brain. And then people Well, this was a pause scene, but there was there was an old dude in there. You know, he had some. He was adult, but then after that, because he was adult, you know, there was some pause scenes afterwards. Man, I don't even want to discuss that shit. I mean, I guess that was supposed to be silly. You know, that was supposed to be for some silly factor. I mean, Asians got some different humor, I believe. You know, but I didn't find that shit funny. I thought.
If you see any episode of Empire, you've seen worse.
I have not watched Empire because, however, I was a fan of fucking Spartacus. You know, not for the.
Yeah, if you seen Spartacus, you've seen fucking worse. I'll tell you that right now.
Wait, I did.
Definitely.
But at least
Spartacus like the GOAT show right there. That's top 5.
Word. I mean, and unfortunately, in Spartacus, you know, that type of shit back in them times was normal because niggas was sick. But in Revenger, I mean, yeah, seeing that in there kind of threw me off. I wasn't, you know, that was like ha ha ha, but no. And then the motherfucker that was, you know, that was making the monkey noises and dude with the hook hands and shit like that.
So you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. The best way to describe this movie, bro. Mm-hmm. If you're familiar with animes, this movie is just like a fucking anime. Real talk.
And I am not a fan of anime movies. That's part anime cartoons. That's part of the reason why.
That's what, because this is the thing. First of all, you got all these quirky, weird ass characters. You got the hunchback nigga.
Yeah.
You got a nigga with no hand, with one hand,
and he wasn't even catching wreck with that hand too. That nigga had a hook. Yeah. I was like, damn, nigga, get your Captain Hook on, man. You know, slice the nigga down from his groin to his gut or some shit like that. Do something with that fucking hook hand, man.
Dude, cannon fodder, dog. Like, you had like, they set up the villain to be like some ultimate badass. They told the story. They told the story in flashbacks, but basically, so if y'all don't have a problem Pat had, basically the premise of the story is
revenge.
Yes, we know that. Alright, you have now the movie is full of cliches. That's why I said it's like you've seen this movie done before, but just they put their spin on it with this time. You have a prison island where the worst criminals from the Asian countries agree to send, you know, their worst criminals to this island. And niggas just pretty much get dropped off there. They had their own little communities there. They're fucking community criminals. You know what I mean? Basically, the Revenger, the star of the movie, he gets sent to that he gets sent to that island. And basically, he goes there because a criminal that he sent is on that island. So he's basically looking for that criminal through the island, and that criminal is pretty much the top villain, the biggest badass in that island. Yep. That's who the Revenger is looking for. And the movie plays out in like levels. You know what I mean? You got, you know, the regular basic fights. He steps up. He fights the first boss. I don't want to even give no more away of the movie, but you'll see as the movie progresses. You'll see it. Like, they make a lot of scenes. They make it real dramatic. Like the final fight, when it happens, you'll know. Like, the cinematography in the movie is dope as hell. Like, it got some jokes. It got some weird type of comedy in it. The bow and arrows are a nice touch. You don't get to see that often. I ain't seen niggas with bow and arrows like that since fucking Walking Dead. I enjoyed the movie. The movie was dope. I think the pacing could have been a little better.
Yeah, there were a lot of scenes in there that Super Club part could have been just removed from the movie.
Yeah, it had some dead spots. I'll give you that, but it never got to a point where I was like, oh god damn, this is too boring. Like, I've seen worse in that regard, but shit, I thought it was dope. The fighting was dope. Mm-hmm. And if you're one of those guys who like fight scenes, where you like movies where the protagonist is just a badass, Steven Seagal type of nigga where he don't get hurt, he barely he just beat everybody ass, he just better than he don't struggle, or he barely struggled, then
he barely struggled.
Then this the movie for you. You want to see some brutal ass violent moves, then yeah, this is for you.
Right. And it's
funny, it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is crazy too how how in the last year or so that Netflix is now like home to these type of movies. Like, who would have thought? I mean, who would have actually seen this? Like, these are movies that probably could have been cleaned up more to be put in the theaters. That and Night Becomes Us. I mean, it's just crazy that Netflix is now the home to these violent ass movies. So hey, kudos for Netflix for taking that.
Yeah, they keep putting them out. I'll keep watching them shit. I fucks with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
Netflix don't put them up. I'm gonna watch them somewhere else. Shit, man, Netflix better just keep putting them out.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I got justified paying the $10.99 that I pay a month for it. You know what I'm saying? Since so because they try to take away all my violent Marvel shows and whatnot. So I need shows like that to give me a reason to keep it going.
Yep.
Yeah, but so LB, what do you give that Revenger on a scale of 1 through 10?
Scale of 1 through 10? It was definitely better than average. It was above average. I don't know. It's not a classic. There's better movies out there.
Yeah.
And the thing about this movie, like I said, it got some cliche driven. You've seen it before. Once you start watching and you recognize certain shit, you've seen it before. They put their spin on it.
Shit, Revenger reminded me of one of the last Bach movie.
Let me see. The last Bach. Damn. After the second one, the third one was kind of weak, so I don't even really remember the third one like that.
Yeah, because the third one was just. Not the quality, but just in terms of how people looked at All 3. That's how people looked at that movie. That's how I thought Revenger looked.
The plot, Revenger is better than fucking Umbach 3. Umbach 3 plot was trash.
It definitely is. But I'm just talking about how the look of it, because like I said, how it looked in Revenger, how it looked in Umbach 3, like the scenery, the shit was like
the cinematography, that open space aerial vibe.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's the thing. It's like the movie does it for what the movie was trying to do. I think it accomplished. Like, it did everything real good, but I don't know if there's anything about the movie that just stood out like crazy. Because they had good use of weapons, the fighting was brutal. I don't know, part of me want to give it an 8, honestly, man. If not an 8, a 7.5. I fucked with it for what it was. Maybe a 7.
Yeah, 7 is my score too. And the 7 is just more based on the fighting and the actual fighting itself, rather than the story of the movie or how everything played out. So like I said, because the fighting was really on point. It was damn good.
Yeah, it wasn't no special effects, no wire food, no shit like. It was like a lot of brutal. You got a lot of stand-up punching techniques and a good amount of knees and kicks, but man, it was just some brutal shit, breaking arms, legs,
heads.
Yeah, heads. Like, the punches were looking like some knockout punches. Like, like some dudes in there was really catching some serious work in that shit.
Word.
Like even the boss fight, like goddamn, like. Like the movie didn't do anything wrong. Like I can't. That's why I can't. Honestly, I can't grade it lower than a 7. But the thing is, I like the movie better than The Night Come For Us, and I think I gave The Night Come For Us a 7. So that's why it's hard for me to say like this is.
And I gave The Night Before. I mean, I think I gave that a high score. I think I gave it like a 9.5 or something like that.
Yeah, because So yeah, I think I might either just get us an 8, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a 7 is my score, just for the fact, like I said, the fighting was on point, but the other stuff outside of it wasn't. I thought was lacking from the, from the plot and everything like that. The characters, I thought that shit was just a little bit too all over the place for me.
Weird. Oh, there's one part with that fucking hunchback.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure
y'all watch the movie. When y'all get to that part, there's a part with the hunchback and another character in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all go.
Yeah.
You'll know it when y'all get to it, man. That shit hilarious.
Word.
But I feel the extra violence, the goriness, I guess appealed to you more for The Night Comes For Us, because I felt like the story in that movie was all over the place and just kind of weak.
I thought the story was pretty straightforward. Yeah, but it wasn't anything special. But I thought it was straightforward. That like a nigga could follow along with that, and of course the violence. I mean, the violence spoke for itself.
Yeah. Like the story was straightforward, but like it wasn't like the way they was telling it.
Yeah,
I guess it wasn't executed as good as it could have been. Just like how with this one, The Revenger, like they could have told that story better, but I swear they told that shit like a live action animated. The fucking flashback that just did it right there. So you can't put the movies these movies aren't on the same level as, let me see,
and honestly, if they say
Raid or Raid Redemption,
hell no. And honestly, if I read anything that says that this movie was like a damn anime, I probably would have never been in a mood to really see it that quickly.
Right.
Yeah. But LB and I fully recommend this movie. So yeah, you
we got different tastes.
Fire up your Netflix, or do whatever you need to do and just to go watch this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but so those are our 2 movie reviews for today. It was a whole bunch of real talk on it. I kept it all the way real on both. So yeah, LB, any final thoughts?
And we just reviewed two, one decent movie and one dope movie, I guess. Reign of Superman, y'all fucks with that, and The Revenger, y'all fucks with that.
Yeah, and then like I said, Reign of Superman, it's definitely worth the watch. And Revenger 2 as well. So yeah, definitely
watch Revenger first.
Yeah, watch Revenger first.
I mean, that's what I did.
Unless of course unless you're finishing up your season of Punisher, then I encourage you to actually do that one first before you do all that.
Oh, word. Yeah. I'm sleep, y'all. I still gotta see fucking Daredevil, but I don't know how long that's gonna stay on this shit. I ain't see season 3 yet, bro.
Yeah, LB has to get on the ball, man, because Netflix is. I think pretty much once Jessica Jones is on there and aired that 2nd or 3rd season, yeah, I think that shit's gonna them replays are gonna be a wrap, and then I'm gonna have to sit down and really think about whether or not do I actually want to keep Netflix.
Man, hey, you want to see Revenge Part 2, nigga? You keep that shit. You want to see the
true.
You want to see the Raid Part 5, nigga? You'll keep that shit.
Word. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have any final thoughts other than I said, y'all need to catch the movies and enjoy yourself watching it. So for myself, Patscorpio the representative, for my boy LB, Shutterworth da Gawd, the GOAT artist.
Ringgangradio.com.
Yes, can't forget that ringgangradio.com, man. So see what we got, man. So show up, just go to the page and show love. So, but yep, until next week. Peace.